buried in a land full of cheese, windmills, overly crowded commercial gyms, overly commercial fitness frauds, lives a guy who is bigger than your favorite fitness influencer and his friend combined, who is stronger than your favorite powerlifter, who knows more than your favorite YouTube doctor, Dr. Mike, and this guy's name is Dario from ITAesthetic. What up, Shark Nation? Welcome back on my channel. In this video I want to talk about my favorite fitness influencer.
What up, een goedje kijkt, Dario van ITAesthetic.
So he makes videos about everything fitness. So let's list some of Dario's accomplishments. He has been lifting for over 15 years. He bicep curls 60 kgs or 135 pounds on the preacher curl. He does skull crushers with 135 pounds. He does RDLs with 225 to 30 pounds. Did I just say pounds? I mean kilograms. That's a 500 pound Romanian deadlift. In this video I wanna show you some of the wisdom of Dario. Let's start with the Dario curl. Grab a bench. Pull that annoying fucking teenager off the bench. Walk with the bench up to the cable stack. Say to that old lady or old guy there, Yo Unc, there's a fucking bingo going on the next door. They'll leave. This will work for sure. Then you put the bench up to the cable stack at a 40 to 60 degree incline. You grab a straight bar. You move the pulley to about hip height, a bit higher. You go sit down on the bench. You pull the bench away from the cable stack so you can fully stretch your arms while holding the straight bar, and you start curling. The reason why this exercise is really great is because you can't cheat. You can't cheat by moving your lower back or your front delts and turn it into a front raise, and this is true for the normal reverse curl. Also, it's more lengthened bias. There's a lot of resistance in the stretch. It's stable. You target your brachial radialis and brachialis really well, and that's why you get big ass arms like Dario. Dario pull down. You keep that bench up to the cable stack. Now you turn it around with the incline facing the cable stack. You pull the pulley up to the highest setting. You grab the pulley, but instead of facing towards the cable stack, you face sideways and you use one of your arms and pull down. This exercise is really great because you get a way better stretch than with normal pull downs. It's stable. Now, the next exercise. Walk up to the Smith machine. Grab that person that's using the Smith machine. Throw them in the fucking trash can with your big ass forearms and your big ass lats. They won't do shit. Grab the Smith machine. Put the bar around the height you use for squats. But you're not just gonna do normal squats. Put the bar on your back and squat down. But this time use a small stance. And while you're squatting down, move your knees as far as possible above your toes. This is the knees over toes squat, but in a Smith machine. Why in a Smith machine? Because without the Smith machine it's not stable, you can't overload it. I've tried it with a barbell knee. It doesn't work. With your body weight it works, but you'll be stronger than that if you train like a normal human being. Eventually when you squat down and you can't go further with your knees over your toes, you just stand on your toes and you go down even further. Now this looks like you're doing a reverse Nordic and a knees over toes squat combined with the Smith machine bar on your back with weights on it. This way you load your rectus femoris, the fourth head of the quads. You won't train with squats, you will only hit them with reverse Nordics, leg extensions and this one. And let's be real, almost everyone can max out the leg extension, it's so fucking easy. Reverse Nordics are, but it's good to have alternatives. And this is a great alternative for reverse Nordics that you can actually load. But why, besides targeting the rectus femoris, would you do this exercise? You do want to do this exercise for that purpose. You also want to strengthen your knees, because most of y'all are probably not professional bodybuilders. You just want to get better at a sport like basketball, soccer, BJJ like Dario. By the way, Dario does BJJ. He has fought with some of the best fighters in the Netherlands, like Reinier de Ridder. Reinier de Ridder is also a guy who fought in the UFC, by the way. So this guy Dario knows how to fight. He knows how to train. The next exercise is the Dario lateral raise. This exercise is not invented by Dario, but by another guy you might know called Arnold.
And once we get that going, you're gonna really want to see.
Let's get to the chopper!
Let's get to the chopper!
But Dario does this exercise with lengthened partials. This is great because the stretch has been shown to be just as good for muscle growth as a full rep, and in some cases even better, so why not do this one? How do you do the Dario lateral raise / Arnold
Good morning!
lateral raise?
Get to the chopper! Let's go!
Grab that incline bench, you move it up to the mirrors, you sit down on it, you lay against the backrest, the same position you use for your Dario pull downs, but now you grab a dumbbell and you just lateral raise up to your sides about eye height, about head height, and then you go down. You can go less far, like to your neck or to your shoulders, so it's parallel with your shoulders, and do lengthened partials, but you can also do full reps. It's great to do both. Variation is key. You might think, one lateral raise variation that Dario claimed? Nah, he claimed another one. Another one. He also invented the Dario cable lateral raise. This is a lateral raise where you put the pulley at hand height, and instead of just standing beside the cable, you do 2 steps sidewards and 2 steps forward, so you're standing diagonally across the cable pulley, and the cable will go across your body, so it will start at your right hip when you're doing your left shoulder, and then you will up the cable until it's about shoulder height, and then you'll slowly go down and explosively go up with the cable again, and do this how much times you want. I would advise you do this 6 to 12 or 6 to 10 or 8 to 12, 10 to 15. Just choose a rep range you like. This is also something Dario preaches. He isn't dogmatic like most of y'all influencers. Most of y'all just say, bro, you should do 6 to 10, 8 to 12. That's the way to grow, 8 to 12. If you do 7 reps, you won't grow. If you do 5 reps, you won't grow. Nah, that's not true. Studies have shown that 3 to 30 reps will grow you muscle, so why not choose rep ranges you like and that work with an exercise. I wouldn't recommend 3 reps for lateral raises because you have no momentum when starting lateral raises like you do on a bench press. Same with dumbbell presses. Doing 2 or 3 reps is fine muscle growth wise, but the first rep is just going to be really hard on dumbbell presses. The next exercise is also a old school classic. Y'all old heads 50 plus might know this one.
Get to the chopper! Goddamn that one, huh?
It's the dumbbell pullover. You do this one by sitting across the bench or on top of the bench. You can choose both. I personally like sitting on top of the bench and not across because it's more comfortable for my rib cage and for my lower back. But sitting across the bench might give you a better stretch and will make your rib cage expand a bit. And old school bodybuilders like Arnold,
Wakey, it's time to work out.
And Tom Platz and Mike Menzer use this exercise to expand their rib cage a bit. It's pretty easy to do. You just sit across a bench, grab a dumbbell. You should have your hips lower than your shoulders. Don't fully lengthen your arms, but you could do that too. But when you fully lengthen your arms, it's going to be harder to do, harder for your lats. If you just have a small bend in it, it's going to be a bit easier for your lats. You can use a bit more weight. It's also less injury prone because you're not extending your joints too much. The next exercise is unfortunately not invented by Dario, but also one of his 8 unknown exercises he recommends. This is the forearm wrist curl and wrist extension. You do this one with a dumbbell, grab the bench again you've used for all your exercises except the squat, and you sit down next to the bench, grab a pair of dumbbells, lay your hands and forearms across the bench, and and just curl your forearms. And then when you're done with forearm curls, you grab another weight, a lighter weight, and do forearm extensions in the opposite motion. So these are the exercises I wanted to mention. If you implement all these exercises, you will grow those lagging body parts you have, which are probably your side delts. You can target them with your dumbbell ego lift ladder raises. Your forearms, you skip those. Start training those and you'll get way more aesthetic, way bigger, way stronger. Also, if you're Dutch, I highly recommend you follow ITAesthetic on YouTube. And if you're not, follow me. I'll use a lot of his information that I've tested by myself, because you should always test your information before you just blindly follow it and spew the words. I've tested all these exercises and I really liked all of them, so that's why I'm recommending these. Don't get me wrong, you shouldn't replace all the basic exercises for these. You should still do your bench press, your barbell rows, your Romanian deadlifts, your squats. Just add these in as your second exercise. So instead of doing leg extensions, you do the Dario squats. Instead of doing forearm reverse curls with a barbell, you do Dario curls. Instead of doing dumbbell ladder rolls, you do Dario ladder raises. Anyways, it's me, TJ Sharky, signing out.
Good morning. Let's get to the chopper. Let's go.